Hi guys, ArchieLuxury channel. I'm the method actor who plays Paul Pluta. Guys, I got a bit of a treat for you. Two of my idols are Ariel Adams from A Blog to Watch and Ben Clymer. Now, I gotta tell you, to get one of these superheroes in the watch genre to appear on my channel is a incredible feat. And it's with that I present Ariel Adams. And this guy here, he was one of the early contributors to this form. He's done hundreds of reviews. He's an all-and-out great guy, a true legend in the wristwatch interweb industry. So I was very honored to be able to film this clip, 30-minute interview. Guys, tell me what you think. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and put some comments down below. And don't forget to click on the little question mark there. It'll take you to a Blog to Watch YouTube channel. Thank you. Hello, this is ArchieLuxury on the ArchieLuxury channel. Today, guys, I've got a legend. I have got the most famous wristwatch personality in the world, and this is what Forbes magazine said about you. I just typed Ariel Adams into Google. It had a quote from Forbes magazine. Highly respected, highly controversial, and he's given me 30 minutes of his time. Now I'm going to ask him a few questions. I'm going to try and keep these questions to about 5 minutes each, okay? But we'll see how we go with the flow. So, firstly, Ariel Adams, it's a great honor to have you here. You are the man. When we think about YouTube and social media, there are two people. There is yourself and Ben from Hodinkee, the two grandfathers of this whole thing. So I want to thank you for coming on. And,
thank you, Archie. I love our chats. Every single time we talk, it's always a lot of fun. And you know what? I like, for the purposes of this show, I'm the controversial one. I enjoy that role.
Hey, that's beautiful. Now, I want to say, just for the audience very quickly there, Ariel Adams, he founded a blog to read. That's what it was called originally, wasn't it?
That's
a blog
right.
to read. Which then he made it a blog to watch, which is you are still releasing a lot of content. The interesting thing is, if you type in a new watch model, 9 times out of 10 Ariel will be writing an article on it. He's a full-time journalist, entrepreneur, and that's what you do.
Unlike you, Archie, I'm a professional communicator, and we talk about what we're passionate about, right?
Exactly. Okay, here we go. Let's start the clock there. Quick wristwatch check tonight for you. I've got a bit of class on. I've got a, it's actually a 5196. 5196.
Oh, I like that. That's got the Delphine hands on there?
Yeah.
I love those Delphine hands.
Yeah, it's beautiful. What are you wearing tonight? Tell me what you're wearing.
I'm wearing a two-tone steel and I think it's rose gold or pink gold Karlev Bucherer Petravi Scuba Tech. This is, actually not even a new watch, but it's only now sort of gaining its stride. I really like this. It's basically a 44 millimeter diver. It kind of reminds me of a Breitling in a good way. It's got a lot of great features. It came out about 10 years ago. It has a micro adjust in the bracelet, as well as look at that, a micro adjust and a diver's extension. Before, it was popular to have them both. Really great finishing on the case, a lot of detailing. Just a lot of watch for the money. And again, I love wearing watches that people aren't talking about, but that I know is a cool watch because I know how to evaluate a good watch. And that's what I try to tell everyone, how to evaluate a good watch for themselves. You don't have to listen to anyone. Just learn from people like me and people like Archie on how to evaluate for you what's a great watch, or what do you say is a shitter? Everyone gets to make their own list of what the shitter is. No one, your list is not the same as my list. That's the great thing about it. We get to have our own lists of watches that when we see, we're like, oh, how dare they?
Okay, here we go. Here's a question for you. One and done. If you had to pick one wristwatch for the next 5 years, one and done, what watch would it be?
Okay, so this is the thing. You know me, I'm a details person. I will answer the question, but it's a hard question. So you need to narrow the parameters. Like for a particular purpose, like it's just everything's normal. I get to wear it. I'm on a deserted island. I need to give me more of a scenario of what I would need to do in those 5 years with that watch.
Okay, so this is one and done. One and done. What's happened is coronavirus. The beetle has gone and contaminated all your watches. You could you can only get one wristwatch for you. This is something that you need to take through your life. You have to wear this watch every day. It's something that you have to wear it at least once, otherwise the world will end. Okay?
Wow.
So the details of this are, it's something you have to wear every day, even if you only wear it for 20 minutes. It's got to be there every day on the wrist. You got to take it everywhere you go. It's got to be with you when you're negotiating the Hollywood movie blockbuster, when you're doing your IRS audit. It's everywhere, one and done, just to get you through life.
Okay, that's a challenge. But okay, so here's what's going on in my mind, right? I think we'll answer the question together.
Yes.
Myself and apparently a lot of Japanese watch collectors have this in common. We don't like when our watches start to show age, right? So it would have to be a watch that would still work and cosmetically not have problems on it years from, because I'd have to wear just that one. I'm one of those people that when I see like cosmetic issues on a watch, it hurts my soul. It's really sad, right? So it'd have to be a watch, that's some type of hardened metal or ceramic, like Citizen has their amazing super titanium, Zinn has tegimented titanium. There's all kinds of ceramic watches out there. So that's the first thing I think about. Is like, it's got to look good. If it didn't work, oh my God, can you imagine if you had to wear a broken watch on your wrist? The shame.
Yes.
The shame.
The shame.
It'd have to be a movement that I feel confident, right? So probably a simple movement, nothing too crazy. Perpetual calendar, forget about it. Chances of something going wrong, like so high, right? Tourbillon, forget about it. Forget about it.
Yes.
So, again, you'd have to go with something that, has the ability to be fine. You haven't mentioned if I could change a battery. I presume I could, right?
Yes.
So I don't know. I haven't narrowed it down to high-end quartz. It'd have to be high-end quartz. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
but
okay.
But you're right. It's okay. You're right. Probably mechanical. Mechanical.
Yeah.
A Rolex would put up fine. 5 years, no problem.
I was always scared with high-end quartz. If there was a nuclear explosion and you're too close to the explosion, the crystal would pop.
I got news for you. If you're that close, you have.
You're fucked.
Okay, you're right.
Yes.
You're right. That an EMP and a nuclear blast could really ruin your watch's day. You, on the other hand, won't have enough time left on this earth to care.
Yes.
That is the so.
Okay, let's give me a brand. What comes to mind? I tell you what comes to my mind. I'll tell you what I would say. It's not Rolex. I'm thinking it's got to look good. It's got to suit all occasions. You've got to dress it up, dress it down. So I'd be doing the NATO thing and the straps.
What do you think, Archie?
It's got to be good value. I'm thinking Breitling, Super Ocean, Heritage. Probably
Not
a
bad.
42 mil. I'd like to say blue, but I'll take the black. So that's my pick.
That's a good watch for you.
Yeah, I think it's.
I can see you retiring with a watch like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
you can take it
timeless,
everywhere. It's got
practical.
an ETA. Well, that one has the ETA movement. The newer one has the Tudor, but it's still very much a workhorse. It's usable. It's got the bezel. You can turn. I don't know. What's your choice? Tell me your choice. One and done.
I mean, I feel like I'd have to look at all the options, you know, that's like a hell of a question. But again, you know, I always like go back to something like Zen because they're not the only ones, but like they care about it being a durable tool. And there's no one model. They make so many good ones. But again, it's got the European heritage. It's like all they care about is it being a good tool. You know, it would serve you really well during those times. No one would look at it and be like, why are you wearing that? No one would question that watch. You know, it would pass any jury, any scrutiny.
Yes. Very, very good answer. Okay, moving on a bit. We're going to broaden the limitations here.
Okay.
We've got to design a 5-piece collection for somebody. This has got to be something that they can... We're talking the demographics is mid-20s to mid-30s, you know, so he's got to we've got to design a collection for all purposes. 5 wristwatches, obviously, because it's geared for, so you like the detail, 20 to 30, because that's when we are working in corporate America. We can't offend people. We don't want to be jealous. We've got to be conservative and PC. Okay, now obviously, you know, we're designing a collection. We probably wouldn't go high end because it's too expensive for someone 25 to 35. You know.
So this is like a very practical collection.
Exactly. So we want to design 5 pieces. What would you do? What would you do?
Okay, so the first thing I think we need to agree on is what are the purposes.
Yes.
These watches have to satisfy a purpose. So let's go over that. I think one obviously has to be whatever you'd call the dress watch.
Dress watch.
You need a dress watch.
We need some sort of diver.
Yeah, you need to have like what I call the daily sports watch. You can wear it.
Okay, daily sports.
Anywhere. You need to have a watch that you can actually take to a place where it could get dirty or, you know, damaged. Like you need a real activity watch.
Yes.
So you need some type of like actual sports watch, not just a sports lifestyle watch. Okay? You need to have the watch to impress other watch guys.
Yes. Even though it may not be expensive, super expensive, it's got to have cachet.
Yeah, it's got to have character. It's got to say, you know what you're talking about. You selected it.
Yes.
Like an Elaine Silverstein, for example. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That would be a watch. Or if you have like a Gerald Genta Geffica, who else would know but a watch person? Okay.
Yeah.
What is it? Is that 4 already? Or is
that's
that
4. We got dress. We got a sports watch. So we got a get dirty watch. We need a geek watch to show off, and maybe one more. What's one more category?
Okay, so this is I think what I call the wild card, and this is a watch that specifically talks about something you like. Maybe you're like really into like airplanes.
Yes.
Get like an aviator. So you get to find something about your personality. This is the question you get to answer.
Yes.
What does the superhero version of yourself do, and what watch would that character wear?
Yes, that's a good question. That's a very good question. So what thoughts have we got? Tell me some thoughts. How are we planning this collection?
Okay, so we're talking a budget, right? So let's say we're 30 years old. I mean, you can't spend more than a few thousand per watch, right?
No, that's correct.
So
3,000 or 4,000 is probably it, isn't it?
So you want to probably spend the most money on the watches you'll wear the most?
Yes.
Okay, so I start with what you'll wear the least, which is the dress watch. My belief is that you could get away with buying like one of the like an Orient Bambino or an inexpensive Seiko or like a Timex Marlin, some type of like $300 or under mechanical simple dress watch, which is elegant. Doesn't have to be pretentious. Get a color you like.
We could also go like a Seamaster, you know, a manual wine Seamaster, vintage.
Look, vintage gets quirky. It doesn't work necessarily.
No,
You know what I mean?
no.
Like, get something that's gonna work.
Okay, get something that's gonna work. Yes, we get something. Okay, so that's the dress watch.
That's the dress watch. Don't spend too much
Okay.
on the dress watch, because here's the thing, as you know, you get
Yes.
like a really fancy dress watch for $20,000 or $30,000, and like you're like, boy, I wish it had more stuff going on.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Look, if you're a banker and you wear a suit every day, maybe spend more on your dress watch.
Okay. So now let's get into the meat, the interesting bits there. So we're going to spend watch on our sports watch. Our watch.
This is our luxury sports watch.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So something like a Submariner, which is not an interesting choice, but is an example.
No, it's okay. Yep.
Look, the problem with the Submariner is this: are you the type of person that wants to blend in? Get a Submariner.
Yes.
If you want to have anything about you be distinctive as a function of your wristwatch, a Submariner isn't going to say anything above that fact that it's a Rolex. You had the money to afford it. That's the only message you want to send to the world. Fine, get a Rolex. There's nothing wrong with that message.
What do you think of Tudor Black Bag? Tudor Black Bag, yes or no? Tudor Black Bag.
Tudor Black Bag? Yeah, I mean
would that be
it's a lot of watch for the money. You know, it's. I guess I just see so many of them, and like, I feel that what Tudor has done with marketing over the last few years has made it difficult for me to have as close of a relationship to the brand as I want. It's the strange brand for a collector like me to like right now, even though I like a lot of their products.
Yes.
I like the Pelagos the most, right? So that's for me the Pelagos LHD. That's
okay. That could be a great choice. A Pelagos could be a great choice.
Yeah, Pelagos. But you're right.
I think if you missed
all of the usual suspects, Seiko, Omega, Rolex, Tag Heuer, Breitling, all of these companies have a bunch of watches that fit this category. What I say is find a good pre-owned one, because these watches can be expensive. And find someone who's had it, who's ready to give it on to the next person. Buy it from a peer. This is the type of watch, because what people do is they flip these watches a lot because they're just like, they get curious and you can't fall in love with all of them. So this type of category, this sort of luxury sports watch, is flipped so often that I think it's a good thing to try to find a used one. So, see what you can find for like $3 or $4 grand. I bet your money could go very far.
Tell me this, okay? So that's our good watch.
Archie, you disappeared on me. I can't see your lovely face. Where'd you go?
No, that's right. Because we could just control the screens here. So
okay.
No, I'm trying to focus on you. Give the spotlight to yourself. Okay, so then we've got to get a watch, a dirty watch, something that we can use and just take everywhere. Just as the one that we can wear, and actually, it's not the end of the world if we came off a motorcycle at 80 miles an hour, right?
So if you're a really rich guy, what you do is you should get like a G-Shock, but you basically get like a Panerai or a Rolex, and you do what you shouldn't do with one of those watches. And so there's a classification of collector out there, and again, it just depends on how much disposable cash you have. It says, screw it, I'm going to take a $50,000, Panerai and pretend like it's a G-Shock. So you could be that guy if you want, but I don't necessarily recommend it.
Is that cool?
Is it cool? They sort of dig it because, there's this idea of like having battle damage like on your car or your motorcycle. Like, I remember when I got that scratch. So there's that guy out there that like really wants to crash his motorcycle with his Rolex and be like, look at all these scratches on the bracelet. That's when it scraped against the sidewalk.
Like, my arm came off!
Everybody knows one of those guys, okay? My watch saved my life!
That's it.
You could be that person, and then that goes into like tourbillon territory. I'm not that type of person. Again, I think like a G-Shock, get like an analog G-Shock, one of those metal ones. Those are pretty cool. A Victorinox, like a Swiss Army watch, an Inox. Those are great as well.
I've been kicking around this Mecha Quartz Seiko.
Okay, yeah, sure. I mean,
You know, someone actually sent it to me. I would never buy it normally, but I gotta tell you something. This here, so it's a quartz movement, but the chronograph function is mechanical. Yes,
Okay,
the mecha quartz.
Here's the question. I hear you, but I feel like the term mecha quartz was invented by people that were trying to make it more than it was. Like, these are all mechanical. Like, quartz otherwise, like, you know, you have to say mecha quartz? It's like you're trying to deceive someone to thinking it's something. It's a great watch. It's just like, just call it quartz.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
You know?
It is because it doesn't have the second hand like that. You know, it's kind of got the best.
Both of them are technically mechanical. I'm just saying. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of options. Do not spend more than like $1,000 on your beater watch. You don't have to spend.
Aerospace, Breitling, just come up in the comments there. Breitling Aerospace. I think that's a fabulous watch for that genre.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great option. Again, it just depends what you're gonna do. If you're really gonna beat it up, you know, don't risk a nice watch like that. Like, you know, a G-Shock is great because they're disposable. First of all, they're indestructible, honestly. But you know, they're also, if you like lose it, it's not the end of the world. But you lose an Aerospace, I'd be heartbroken.
And we did the Geeky Watch, didn't we? We did the Geeky Watch?
No, we didn't talk about that.
Okay, what would you get as a Geeky Watch? What
would you get as the Geeky Watch?
Oh, Geeky Watch. Look, there's so many. Like, I honestly think an Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon, that watch there has punching way above its weight. You know, I know so many people who collect Pateks who have a Man on the Moon. I know, just it's not. It's kind of a highly mass-produced watch, but it's.
You just mean the normal, like the
Halcyon back, the 1861 movement, the big box. We want the big box.
The $1,000 box, as I call it.
$1,000 box.
Because when they released that watch, they also increased the price point of the watch by over $1,000. So I joked it was the $1,000 box.
Yes, you're right there. Okay, now
I told this to Omega. I believe that the Speedmaster Professional should never go above $3,000 in price. By pricing it at $5,000, they've alienated so many people that should be getting that as their first nice Swiss watch.
Yes, I understand exactly what you're saying there.
That should be way more accessible. They can jump the price point up after that, but they should have the basic manually wound plastic ass crystal Speedmaster Professional for $3,000, not a penny more. They should have a whole story about how they want people to get into it, and they can't charge less than that, blah, blah, blah. But that they try to make more on that model, I think just dilutes them from so many potential people. But your Geek Watch is surprisingly conservative. You can wear that around anywhere, and no one would say, what's that Geek Watch? So I don't consider that really a Geek Watch. I'm sorry.
It's not a geeky enough.
Like, you remember I said Elaine Silverstein? Like, that's got a bunch of colors going on. You have to explain that to people.
I get what you're saying. That's a good point. We're going to have to move along here. I'm going to ask you a question, okay?
Sure.
Okay, tell me this. You've been in the industry for years. Does every man need a Rolex?
How does the first part of that question connect to the second one?
Does every man need a Rolex? Is it something every collector must have had a Rolex? You're not a true... As soon as you tell someone, I collect watches, do you have a Rolex?
Okay, I'll tell you this.
Actually, very funny story. A friend of a friend, he was doing some work for AP in Clearwater, Florida. And he was in the building business. And he goes, we're Audemars Piguet. And he goes, you're like Rolex. And they said they didn't have. He just didn't. You know, he's not a watch person. He was a construction guy.
The first 5 or 6 years of me being a watch collector, maybe first decade actually, me being a watch collector, I didn't have any interest in Rolex. I had nothing against Rolex at all, but I just didn't want one. I didn't care. I didn't see the big deal. It took me seeing an awful lot of watches to appreciate the things that Rolex does right, the quality of their cases and bracelets, just how refined they are. They make a really great piece of jewelry that also happens to be a watch. And for that, no one can fault them. But it takes a while to come around to appreciate what Rolex does well. Some people never get to that point. And I would recommend it to people. Don't get a Rolex unless you truly want one. Don't get one because you think other people are going to be impressed by seeing it on you, or you really want that statement, or you really want to look like a winner. You can't look like a winner. You got to actually be a winner. There's nothing you can buy to fake actual success. So don't think about buying something to demonstrate success. Think about being successful and buying what you like. So if you want a Rolex, by all means get one. If you think that it's the most beautiful thing in the world and it's going to complement your style, by all means, you can't make a bad choice. But if you don't want one, don't feel pressured to get one. There's plenty of people I know that have gone through entire collecting careers and never had a single Rolex and are perfectly happy.
Wow, that's a very, very, very philosophical thing there. Tell me this. When somebody's choosing, I think that you're very clever. Like I said to you, one and done. And your first thing you said to me is, well, what does he want to do? Is he on a desert island? Is he in an office? What's he doing? What's he doing? What's the circumstance? Because you can't really. So it's like when someone says, tell me a good watch. Tell me a good watch. It's, what are you doing? What's your budget? What are you, are you using your hands in a physical type job, or you're at a desk? You're a desk jockey. What are you doing?
It's like the question, where do you want to go on vacation? And the reality is not all vacations are supposed to be the same. It's a very legitimate question to say, well, how do you want to feel on this vacation? How far away do you want to go? Do you want to be active? Do you want to see culture? Do you want to swim a lot? I mean, we have a very diverse set of needs that we have as human beings. Some of us want excitement. Some of us want catharsis. Some of us want, items on our body that express a certain social status or something like that. That's why it's good to have different watches, because different watches can do different things for you. I actually am so afraid of the idea of having to choose one watch, Archie. I love the ability that I have the freedom to choose as many watches as I want to wear, and I will defend that freedom and liberty as much as I can. I mean, to be able to express yourself is a freedom that we don't all have, even today in this world. And watches are a very universally accepted way of expressing yourself. You can say a very nuanced comment about who you are through a timepiece. And for that reason, I ask people to choose a watch that best suits their personality, which means you can't do something generic. A Rolex makes a generic statement about people in general, not you specifically. You choose sort of a weird, obscure watch out there, that you chose that says so much about you. And I think today, especially when there's so many watches out there that are available, don't stand in line to get that popular watch. All that says is you're a follower, but seek out that watch that isn't in demand, that needs to be loved. Adopt a watch, don't adopt a pet.
Final question.
Yes.
Final question. This doesn't need to be an expensive watch. It doesn't need to be covered in diamonds or precious metal.
Why not?
What? Sorry?
I said, why not?
Well, it can if you want to. It can be any. What is the most beautiful watch you have ever held, looked at, reviewed, seen? What watch do you think, Jesus, that is amazing? It could be a Timex, for example, or it could be a Lange. What's the most striking thing watch that you will never forget when someone said, this is amazing? What is the most amazing watch?
I mean, that's a good and bad question to ask me, because I've handled watches that many other people haven't, but I've seen so many.
Yeah.
Asking me, there's so many watches over the years. I mean, I'll tell you what, the watches that have most impressed me, that have given me the awe, are that I've handled in my hand, are watches from Breguet's era. And the reason that they have given me as much awe as they did is that they look so modern still today, not just in sort of how they've aged, but how they were made. And you have to remember that the people back then were working with candlelight or just natural daylight and had only manual tools. How things were straight. How did they come up with these equations without computers and things like that? The actual effort in that, just by holding it, you could realize thousands upon thousands of hours. Nothing that any watch today realistically experiences outside of some very, very rare things. And so things that embody like so much of people's lives work into it have left the biggest impact on me. It's not about price, and I guess those are valuable, but
Sure.
to see how advanced they could be in like 1790 something or 1780 something, it's humbling, because we tend to look back on people from the past and we belittle them. We think they weren't sophisticated. We don't generally have a bunch of good things to say about them, because a bunch of brutal stuff happened, which could also happen today. But when you see something like that, you feel like you could go back and chat with those people. Like you have everything in common with them. There's some barriers, but at the end of the day, they're just as sophisticated as you are. And it really brings, our entire like civilization, it flattens it a little bit, and as well as the human experience. And again, it's all very philosophical, but that's what these things are. They're intellectual candy that you can wear.
Yes. No, that's a very, very. I'd have to say, in my own experience itself, there, I'd have to say it would be one of the most beautiful watches is 3970, which isn't really liked because it's a bit small now. 36mm perpetual calendar chronograph. It's the OMMANEY type movement ones.
Oh, I know that one.
And it's kind of, but the thing is that the beauty of it is the fact it is so small. They had to work with this limitation.
It's
and
impressive, right?
It's incredibly impressive. And I'd have to say some of the
What
Lange.
was that from? Was that one is that from the 90s?
The 3970, that was kind of it was 80s.
Late
it was in the
80s,
catalogs,
90s?
yeah. So it's sort
Not
of
a lot
it
of
was,
watches came out back then.
No, well, that was a bad period. It's sort of
Yeah.
like it had the 3940, which was the perpetual calendar using the 240 movement. And then if you wanted to spend more, you could get the perpetual calendar chronograph, which uses the OMMANEY movement, which is the 30. That was the model after the 2499. That's the legendary, that's apparently John Lennon had one. That was the perpetual calendar. If you say to somebody what is the best, you ask somebody who knows watches, who really knows, that's kind of 2499 is probably it. But the model after that is kind of reachable. It's reachable. It still looks very, very expensive. It's the price of
What is it about that really does it for you?
I just think it's just incredible how they've put so much into a small package. It was a relatively mass-produced watch compared to, it wasn't a one-off thing. They did actually a series of them there. The thing about it is it's damn hard. Like if you try and make any of these, to make anything is impossible. Then to make it small is even harder. It's I tend to think with watches themselves there, it's kind of the human race's intelligence. It's grown. Like it's all mathematics. And that's what they use to make a nuclear bomb. It's mathematics.
I don't want my watch to explode, though. That'd be bad.
No. Ariel, it's been great having you here. This is a half hour clip. This was great. I'm gonna upload this to my main channel there. So I'm gonna end this here, but just stay on the line there. I want to thank you for coming on. Of course, your YouTube channel, A Blog to Watch.
Yes.
And
blogtowatch.com and all the rest
blogtowatch.com, and that's fantastic to hear. One of the legends in the wristwatch game. Thank you so much. Gonna end that. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, and who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW. Hello. How are you? Hey, not too bad. So you surviving this coronavirus? And there we go, one of the most beautiful Pateks of modern times, a key reference point in Patek history. The 5035, proudly part of the ArchieLuxury wristwatch collection.
Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Mark Goldberg for ArchieLuxury AC3, the Pontiff Satin de Ville. I want to sincerely thank you for having sat through this video because I know it was awful, but you know what? You do it for the greater good of humanity. Thank you so much. Now, a couple of quick pieces of homework. Now that you've watched this video, I would like you to hit thumbs up. If you must, hit thumbs down, but if you'd hit thumbs up, I would especially appreciate it. Go ahead and leave a really nasty comment and tell him how awful this content was, but most importantly of all, the entire reason that I am linking up with ArchieLuxury in the first place. I am a published author, Let Dogs Be Dogs, available in bookstores, Amazon, and electronically somewhere near you. Remember, ArchieLuxury, he's not just a figment of your imagination.